San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal over the pursuit of a suspect said to be armed with a gun, Desmond.
That's right, armed and dangerous here, Juan and Susie, as we are up in the Somar area right now, crossing San Fernando Road and the Metrolink tracks eastbound on Roxford Street. So this is LAPD's Foothill Division that initiated on Roxford Street. So this is LAPD's Foothill Division that initiated this pursuit, this black Infiniti, a fairly capable vehicle right here. They were kind of zigging and zagging up the 5 and the 170 for a little bit. It seemed like they were going southbound towards the North Hollywood area, then got off the freeway and headed back up this way. And they were actually stuck in a little bit of traffic on the 5 and then just got off the freeway here at Roxford. Seems kind of aimless so far as far as what the suspect is trying to do to get away. But LAPD being pretty aggressive in this one. You see the spotlight from their helicopter overhead as they continue to pursue this vehicle. So kind of getting into that more residential area here of Silmar between the 5 and the 210 freeway. Allegedly armed and dangerous with a gun here. Juan, Susie, and Mike.
Yeah, Desmond, you mentioned how aggressive they are. Mike Rogers on the desk also tracking this pursuit here. Mike, you were saying this is a known suspect to police.
Yeah, this is a known suspect. So the George units, which is the gang units for Foothill Division, they're the ones that started this pursuit.
They're the ones that started with a pursuit, and as you can see, the driver eventually speeding up down the surface streets onto Roxford Street, and they know this person is known to be armed with, and they have known him in the past decade. He's past to be armed, and it sounds like the gang unit in the Foothill Division are very aware of who this person is. They have listed a gang. They believe he is in it. It sounds like they have dealt with this person before many times. They have declined to go to tracking mode because of the fact he is armed, and the nature of the one is in tracking mode is when they back up. They give him space to pull over, and they're not being too aggressive right now. And down he's on the streets, he's on Borden Avenue, and especially no cars, no people outside. There's additional units behind that suspect. Sounds like they tried to make a stop on him.
That's what I was trying to kind of listening to when we went back and listened to the original traffic here, but it was pretty quick. All of a sudden, it was 16 George 26, and
it was 16 George 26, and now the driver eventually speeds up at 50 miles an hour. And as you can see, who gets to decide who gets to chase the vehicle, which is whether it's LAPD or CHP. I think the LAPD's Foothill Division is still behind that vehicle. He's been circling the streets for the last couple minutes or so since they have started this chase about 5 minutes before we got overhead. And as you can see, they started this pursuit 5 or 10 minutes ago before they got overhead. They arrived overhead 10 minutes before. Prior to that, as you can see, the police helicopters with the Night Sun overhead and the news helicopters following it all as they track the suspect down. As I'm being told, the suspect, I'm gonna pick up words. As you can see, the driver eventually speeding up. Thank goodness nobody's in his way. He can go slow at 40 miles an hour. They're not gonna do a pit maneuver. I think they're gonna do it at 45 miles an hour. I was being a serious news contender over the weekend when I was playing GTA. I try to shoot people and I try to kill the cops as well. And you know, this is what happens when they steal a box truck in the game. It's only in the game in GTA, because I try to run away from the cops and they try to shoot me. They do know they are more likely to do what's best, and hopefully they would do this on their own. They would do their own best is to follow the suspect. He's at 60 miles an hour, even violating a parole. He doesn't seem to care of the rules of the road, and they might know they might know why he's doing this. Why does he think it's okay to run from the police? Maybe because he's armed with a gun and armed with a weapon, and luckily he has not fired shots at any officers as well. And I'm being told the only thing is starting a pursuit somewhere in the West Valley area, and as you can see, it started with a armed suspect. They try to do a traffic stop. I don't know if they did fire shots at the officers. The helicopter is flying through our shots right now. And as you can see, they're trying to keep track of that suspect overhead. And maybe he knows his way around. Is he lost? Is he making up his mind? Maybe he's gonna get back on the freeway like he was on the 5 freeway and the 170. The pursued suspect is armed with a gun, zigzagging the 5 freeway, the 170 freeway. He's armed and dangerous, and you can see couple of units, so many units in pursuit of that vehicle. Maybe the LAPD right there stopping by, and they're gonna let the police officers go by, and they're gonna pick up the pursuit. Maybe or later he will start picking up speed. They don't want to be in tracking mode, because you can see unless he gets to the freeway, then they will have to back up and then go into tracking mode, because this is what happens when this is the Infiniti Q50 luxury sports sedan. He can slam on the gas pedal as many times as he wants. Crazy driving, crazy speeds, zigzagging on the 5 freeway and the 170 freeway. He's on Beaver Street as we turned right as well. As you can see, and if it's an alleged gang member, there could be side streets. Hopefully there's no side street donuts during the pursuit. I don't think it will be.
And luckily now, Desmond, he's on a wider street.
He's on a wider street, passing all other cars now, moving, pulling over. Hopefully, that's why you do not try to be a hero. You do not get involved, and you do not get involved in that pursuit unless you're a good Samaritan that wants to. If they ask you for help, you go box them in, and you can see the driver. So this will also lead to the 210 freeway that he'll get on in a bit, as you can see now, as I'm told now. No. No. No, not making too serious of an effort to speed up. He's speeding up a little bit at about 55 miles an hour. I had that thing on for about 5 or 10. I've had that thing on for the last 5 minutes or so. This is where driving around cars, going at high rates of speed, and you can see now the driver eventually. The reason being is, why is the LAPD wanted for driving recklessly? Why he's doing no. I wanna doing some erratic moves, running away from the police, and then he thinks it's okay to do that. I don't want to reveal that. I don't want to show that phone number to you guys. I'm sorry. How LAPD is into this chase. There are 2 police helicopters overhead. In addition to units on ground, you have 2 law enforcement helicopters overhead. This is an area 54, 55 miles an hour, 52 miles an hour. Yeah, this is no. I don't want to show that. And as you can see, careful if you're out there. We want to warn the public about public safety. Is we want to make sure that you are not gonna get away. Make sure that you don't try to be a hero as well. You don't want to get hurt in an accident. Don't crash. Don't let this person crash into you. You gotta pull over, because at any moment that negative information of destructive that lead to this, you get up to 70 miles an hour, boom, you get hurt, you get killed, and you get crashed and taken to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. And as you can see, as we are heading our way to the eastbound, on the eastbound 210 freeway from Foothill Boulevard, I think they're gonna do a stop stick. I think that the lights and sirens flashing, and as I'm sorry about the circumstances, please forgive me. A matter of fact, if you're gonna tune in to my YouTube channel, please do that. He's using a turn blinker once again to get away from the police. If they were to put out a spike strip or box him in, now look at him. He's gonna speed up to 80 miles an hour. Now look at this, 90 miles an hour, and look at this. And that's just before we came on the air, and they did mention Sunland. That was it interesting? It was Foothill units, Sun Valley is where they were first hearing about it, as they pop on the freeway as well. They think that they started chasing him south then north on the 5 freeway around Lancashire Yeah, and 170 freeway, as I heard what they are saying, now he's reaching speeds at 117 miles an hour. He is headed back down. They're on the 210 freeway, not the 5 freeway. He was on the 5 freeway and the eastbound 170 freeways. Speeds over 100 miles per hour. This is the first time they've seen them on the freeway. They were with the flow earlier. They've mentioned 570 freeway. 5 freeway and the 170 freeway, then 5 freeway off Roxford. This is the first time they've seen it live on air. Because if you're doing this live streaming pursuit, don't record your phone while live streaming while you're driving. Because if you don't pay attention while driving, you could get in an accident. Because I think this is why. This is their tactics. Their case it looks like they have backed off a little bit. He's trying to speed up now, speed back. They have covered this from the air as they make their way. It looks like he's gonna get off the freeway. No, I think he's gonna transition on the 118 freeway. No, I think no. He's gonna get back on the freeway. They've initiated this pursuit about 15 or they've initiated this pursuit. They started this pursuit. They started chasing that suspect from the 5 freeway and the 170 freeway. This pursuit started with an armed suspect on a pursuit. This pursuit started with an armed and dangerous suspect with a gun. They started chasing him about. They've initiated this pursuit They started this chase about 15 or 20. They started chasing this suspect about 15 to 20 minutes ago, where they had picked up the pursuit. They picked up the pursuit once again about 15, 20 minutes ago in the area where he was zigzagging the 5 freeway, circling the streets again and again, wider streets, driving on the surface streets for the last 10 minutes or so. Maybe in the last 5 minutes, for the last 4 or 5 minutes or so, since he started circling around the streets, speeding up at 40, 50 miles an hour, and as you can see, Black Affinity with a gun and possibly with a rifle. The police are not going into tracking mode. They are familiar with the suspect as he gets off the freeway now at Osborne. And as you can see, he's gonna turn left. Hopefully he didn't go on the freeway once again like he did before just a few minutes ago. And you know why he's driving. And now he's making a U-turn, getting back on the freeway. This all started about 8:45, I think, 9 o'clock, I think, 9:05 p.m., I think. And this one has started as he started making his way towards the freeway. I apologize. I'm literally running low on battery. The driver eventually speeding up now at 100 miles, at 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour. He's going to speed up again at 80 miles an hour. As you can see now, we might hear word from our assignment desk. As you can see, no. What? It's so crazy. They see this message on my ride right by the 210 freeway, huh? Oh no. Now, as you can see, the driver eventually speeding up now, constantly not stopping. And this is why he's speeding at 98 miles an hour as I'm clocking him right now. Now, as they lose the signal here, I'm sorry. I couldn't show that phone number to you guys. I'd be in trouble if I didn't. Please forgive me, a matter of fact. Oh, I like those people. They work for CBS LA, huh? Let's listen. Let's watch as we react to this police pursuit.
I think we're back, yeah.
Corner of my eye, yep.
And it's scary, Mike, what that viewer was telling us just a short time ago, that this viewer was out on a run and saw this blow by him, just how scary and dangerous this could be. Blowing by you, whether you're on foot, on a bike, crossing an intersection, in a car.
And that's ultimately why we put these on TV, right? I mean, it's, there's a lot of things that people think about this, but it is for a public safety issue here. I mean, and people like that who were out on their run did see this guy come by. So we put these on so that if you know somebody that is out and about in the Sylmar area, you can give them this heads up that, hey, this guy at times is up at triple-digit speeds and driving in a way that is obviously reckless, and not to mention the fact he is allegedly armed, which is what started this whole thing to begin with.
Just the fact that this person is armed is changing changing a lot of things. The way that the LAPD is going to their operations, everything that they're doing right now. As we mentioned, they don't want to go into tracking mode. So if that is the case, Mike, I was noticing that usually we only have a few cars behind, 2, 3.
Right.
That's the usual number for the LAPD when doing a chase. But because this has now been enhanced with the fact that this person has a gun,
right,
they need more people at the end. This is going to be a high-risk stop.
Yeah, and that's why they did request that as we exit the freeway here at, I think that's Hubbard Street, but they did request that initially. They wanted 4 units in the pursuit instead of the typical 3. Usually it's 2 units and a supervisor. Reminder, LAPD functions as 2-person units, so you would have, in that scenario, you would have 6 cops total with the, because the sergeant rides alone usually, but in this situation, they did want additional units. They requested a 4th unit, and I think even more than that are back there. I know that first unit right behind him is a patrol unit. We've talked about this before, but the gang units have the slick tops. They want to siphon those guys out, bring in the patrol units that have the light bar, so there's no discrepancies on this guy didn't know he's being chased, etc. So you've got those, and then you've certainly got the gang units that are at least tailing, even if they're not technically actively involved in the chase. They are certainly back there and involved in this as
Maybe
well.
for the end.
For the end, because they'll be the ones that are going to want this guy, right? They're the ones, the gang unit is the ones that's going to want to get their hands on this guy. They've already made it clear on the radio he is a documented gang member, or allegedly a documented gang member, that has a known history of firearms. And I'm trying to see, Des, if you can pull out just a little bit, I just want to see how many units they have back there right now. I know you've got that primary unit. 1, 2, that's a gang unit in second, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you've got 6 that are active in Code 3 pursuit. 2 of them I were able to identify at least as gang unit members.
So, Mike, they know who this person is. Most likely they have a home address. They know who he might live with, possibly.
No, the airship said.
I'm wondering if they do reach out to maybe a parent or girlfriend, somebody, to try to get him on the phone and have him pull over.
Potentially, and they have certainly known associates, known addresses that they've been to and lived at. And I think this is the second time we've been on this street before. Actually, I think I recognize that park there. That's just to the north, or just above where he is at. Des, have we been down here before?
We've been in this very close to this area. Now,
Okay.
Raven Street and Drone Field, and we just heard actually the helicopters up here chattering, the 2 police helicopters, but that they do believe that he lives in this neighborhood. So that definitely makes sense. And they actually made note of, Mike, when you have me zoom out there, that apartment building that he stopped by, they made note, maybe even zeroing in, thinking that could be specifically where he lives, but somewhere kind of in this neighborhood, Raven Street, Sayre Street, west of Foothill Boulevard. So that would kind of track with why we've been in this area now multiple times, just kind of between the 5 and the 210 in the Somar area. So yeah, sometimes suspects want to come surrender at their home, or if they think that they can get out and get a beat on the cops and run into their house and wait them out or something. It's always kind of hard to say, but at the very least, dragging this out, and indeed just in this neighborhood, circling back around, can definitely be indicative of a get out and run situation. So we are watching, and the police are obviously on the ground and in the air, and they definitely have strong suspicion that it's not a coincidence that he's circling this area.
Definitely more familiar with the area, when they do run, should they run, out of the car on foot, they know the area if they're in the area that they live, which we do see this pattern often. These chases ending up in the area where these people live, or where they have an associate, a friend, a family member who might be able to take them in or help them, maybe talk them out of this. We've seen that too as well. But looks like they are staying in Sylmar and circling this very neighborhood. It's unclear where they're going to be stopping, if they will be stopping, or just, maybe waiting until they run out of gas or wait for police to do something.
Just going round and round, it seems, Mike, and going slower, hitting the speed bumps, staying in the same area.
Staying in the same area, and it's funny, Susie, you just mentioned the gas thing. Jackie, I just dropped in another text to Des thing. I don't know if we can pull that up here.
No.
But Eric from Hidden Hill says he just saw it. Says the guy just passed me on the 210 at these speeds. He has to be running low on gas. I mean, that
Thank
was what we were
goodness.
thinking
I
here,
didn't
talking about, especially when we were up.
Wow.
I mean, guys, there is a ton of people that are texting us. I'm actually sitting here trying to go through them as we're talking.
Wow,
Somebody else said that
texting.
they
Someone
were
else
in their dog,
texted
the
it.
chase flew right past them. Somebody else is talking about they were on their way home from Costco and they came right past them as well. So that's the thing. I mean, it's only 8 o'clock. It's only 8:25. People are still out and about and still doing things. And I want to address one other thing, because we got a text from, I'm trying to remember who sent it to us. It was Eddie. Eddie sent it to us saying this is too dangerous and should be canceled. and says that it's putting the public in jeopardy needlessly. And I just want to address that because there are many people on the dirt road. Yeah,
that's weird.
Is it just a cut around to get to an alley, Des?
I guess so. Well, let's see where this alley dumps out at here. That was definitely strange. It looks like it is going to come out over here on the other side. Kind of cutting through that. Maybe that would have been one of those little equestrian areas or something I was mentioning earlier. But they're back out on Borden and Sayre Street, so kind of an awkward turn. But circling around, and we gotta get concerned about this becoming a spectacle now because we're just circling the same area. There's a ton of helicopters up here. It's very loud. Everyone can hear us. Everyone can see the spotlights. Everyone can probably hear the lights and sirens and see the flashing red and blue lights as well. And the longer this goes on, circling neighborhoods, the more people want to come out and take a look at what's going on. And that just is another factor for LAPD. Something else that they have to calculate, especially if we're talking about someone that could be armed and dangerous. So definitely making things more difficult here for LAPD as this just continues to go on and kind of turn into a spectacle, like I said.
Yeah.
Just you, building your app on Base 44. Describe it.
Yeah. And Mike, our viewer Eddie makes a good point. Why don't they cancel it? But the difference is here, they know who this guy is. They know he's a known gang member, allegedly.
Right.
They know he's armed or has had access to guns.
Right.
That changes everything.
It does change everything, and I'm glad you brought that back up, one, because we've had conversations with watch commanders post pursuits, and I can tell you the I don't want to call it pressure, but the decision making of the watch commander is paid very close attention by the command staff.
So many witnesses said the text to those news media agencies, to those news media desk editors several times as well. He was going on a dirt road as well because the suspect was trying to run. Maybe if he started speeding up, he would have probably get away from the police. He's trying to slow down and drive carefully now. He's obeying traffic laws. I think they need to do a pivot order because when they do run from the police, they do something that's called when you fail to get away from the police, you get T-boned, and you know what? You end up in a hospital, and you run for the police, you get caught 5 minutes later, you pay the price, you get taken into police custody. He was going at about 40 miles an hour, circling above the area over and over again. So many times, keeps going round and round, and the suspect over there having his hands up right now, and he's on Sayre Street and near Borden Avenue in Silmar, and you can see he's been slowing down. The witness's son sent so many text messages again and again and again, over and over again, going into the dirt road. Same thing over and over again. And now he was heading his way home from the afternoon police. Then he was turning right onto Foothill Boulevard. Documented gang members, 6 police units behind that black Infiniti. He was making a U-turn back on the 210 freeway, eastbound, westbound. Starting his whole day, slowing back down at 45 miles per hour, getting off the freeway, crossing underneath again. He didn't want to get back on the freeway. Now he went home, and now you can see the driver eventually speeding up. When they saw this police pursuit as well, this police chase had went on for nearly 20 to 25 minutes. Maybe it went on for about 30 minutes. It went on for about 30 minutes or so since they started this chase. This driver eventually speeding up right now, got away from the police for the last 12 seconds or so, and then he got away. He was reaching speeds at 115 miles an hour. So many units behind that area, and you can see the driver eventually speeding up now. When I've seen so much of that pursuit, lastly, you always want to be aware of your surroundings. As you can see, pull over to the right, let the pursuit go by. Don't try to be a hero as well. And this has gotten too far. This is why it came to an end. Thank goodness nobody was hurt tonight as it was recorded last week. I hope you had a Valentine's Day weekend. I hope you have a happy President's Day. I hope you had a great President's Day. I hope you had fun on Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. I hope you have a great week as well. Original want on this pursuit. This was armed with a gun, and the driver eventually speeding up
much of the valley
100 miles per hour at first, slowing down at times. This is what happens. This is where the suspect eventually speeding up as well. And I hope you
also known to live in this area.
I hope to live in this area. I hope you take care. And they have closed this truck now. He's taken into police custody. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Well, check out those videos. My YouTube channel pops up here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Comment down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Reporting from the surface streets as from the news helicopters as well. The driver reporting from the news helicopters and on the ground and on the air. I want to thank you guys for watching as well. Goodbye for that. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm Albert.E.Baldwin and news helicopter and the news helicopter and from YouTube World News YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Have a great day. See you soon. This is my last video today after I make a car commercials of the 2008 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. That's an S-Class right there. If you want to, feel free to check out the S-Class video pop up here. Please do. Thank you. Comment down below. Thanks for tuning in.